Hello everybody, we are going to go over the create a coloring page in Microsoft Word assignment. So the objective is you're going to learn how to use the shape, clip art, and word art functions of Microsoft Word. We've done that already in this class, but we're just getting even better at it. Your assignment, you're going to create a coloring page for another student. Imagine another student would be here if we were in school. You would print it out and color, and you're going to do that using shapes, clip art, and word art in Microsoft Word. So the desktop version as usual, not the online version. So let's take a look at the rubric together. When I put a rubric together, 1 through 8, that means all 8 of these criteria need to be completed in order for you to get full credit. So I'm noticing that sometimes I'll say, okay, make a coloring page, and then somebody will find a coloring page online and turn that in. Because they're not reading the instructions on what I am looking for. So make sure all of these criteria are completed. So go ahead and take a look at them. So I'm going to walk you through how to meet each of these criteria. I'm going to go through it quickly. That's okay, because you're going to be able to stop and start this video whenever you want to. So it must resemble a coloring page, like one you'd find out of a coloring book. This means I'm providing some examples for you. Something like this. What do these all have in common? They are all outlines. They are line drawings. This is what you're going to create. So you can add patterns and you can add shapes and lines, but you cannot add fill. So when I say that, that means these are empty. They're void of color. And they don't have like, let's say this acorn has a pattern on the top, but the acorn, if it's at the bottom, it's not like filled black. So it should look something like this. What you decide the subject of your coloring page to be is totally up to you. So no fill images, shapes, fonts, outlines only. So you should use 15 shapes minimum. You can repeat the same shape or use different shapes. Use at least 3 different pattern fills with your 15 shapes. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We go to Insert, Shapes. Let's say I'm going to do a night sky. You know, let's say that I wanted to make this, I'm going to make this a night sky. I'm going to make it Halloween themed. It's going to be a spooky Halloween night because I love Halloween. If I want to change it lengthwise, I think your elementary school teacher would call that hot dog. The other's hamburger, I believe. You can always go to Layout, Orientation, Landscape. So now it's facing this way. If you don't want to do that, don't. But I like it for this picture. So we're going to go to Shape, Fill of my moon. It needs to be no fill. And right now the outline is blue. I don't want it to have a blue outline. I want it to have a black outline. Shape outline, black. Okay, let's say I wanted it to have a really, really thick outline. I could go to weight, 6. Maybe this is a coloring page for someone really young and they need to stick in between the thick lines. Again, shape outline, weight. And then you can change it if you want it to look more like a drawing. You can tell from my example, like this one looks a little bit more hand-drawn. This looks a little hand-drawn if you'd like it to look like that. There's a lot of options that you can do by changing the line type. Again, shape outline. That's where you'll find those options. I kind of like this sketch look. I'm going to put stars in the night sky. So I'm going to go again, Insert, Shapes. Here's a star. Again, the shape fill is no fill. Shape outline is black. And then I gave it the same kind of weighted look. The same kind of weighted look or sketched look. So these kind of look similar. So, like I said, you need to have at least 15 shapes. You can use more than that. You're also going to have the opportunity to add some clip art. But let's say I want to make more of these, but I don't want to necessarily do that all those steps again. You can very easily copy and paste. Whew. And these repeated ones add towards my shape count too. I might make these a little smaller later, but for now this is good. I'm going to rotate the shapes so they don't all look the same. They look kind of twinkly. Okay, if I want to fill these like with a pattern, for example, insert shapes. Shape fill, no fill, or we can go to shape fill, texture, more textures, pattern fill. Now I want the shape outline to be black, and I want my pattern to be black, so it creates some white space for people to fill in. Maybe I want it to be bricks, or I want it to be lines that people have to color in between. And you can change the options here. It even gives you all the options to change the width here. So let's say I want to make the lines bigger. I can make them sketched lines, just like I did with my stars and my moon. There are lots and lots of different options. Make those lines real big if I want to. Anyway, play around with those lines however you want to. Okay, use a freeform drawing and then use at least 3 no-fill clip art images and then bubble letters. So when I say a no-fill clip art image, that's like an outline of something. So this is an outline of a jack-o'-lantern. This is an outline of a beach towel. So you can look those up really easily. You can look up like cat outline. Ooh, I cannot type today. If I want a cat in my picture, let's say I choose this one. I can copy it. Paste it. And as usual, it's not going to end up where you want it until you square it. But it has the white background, so I've squared it. You hit the little layout options and hit square. And remember, you can always remove the background. We've done this before. Let's see if the smart tool is going to let me see. Let's see. Oops. All right, well, in some pictures it's going to let you, but because these lines are so fine, it's not going to let me. This is always an option for you, but that's okay. What I can do is I can always square it and then send to back. So now we don't get that ugly bar over it or outline over it. but it still fits in the picture how I'd like it to. Say this is a ball of yarn I want the cat to play with. I wanted you to insert a freeform drawing, so we go to Insert, Shapes, Lines, Freeform Scribble. Let's say I want to make hills in the back. I can do that using the line feature. Insert, Shapes, Lines. And lastly, I asked you to add some bubble letters. Right, back of the background there. You can add bubble letters by inserting clip art. The little A right here is under the Insert tab. There's clip art. Now, I say bubble letters because it doesn't have a fill. So there's a couple ways to go about this, but you can, let's say I choose this one. A bubble letter, again, is just any font, any word art option that does not have, it's not filled in with color. So you can always add, so let's say I just added my clip art. I want to make the outline black, but I don't like this font. It's not very spooky. I'm going to change it to Killer. Make it big. Now somebody could color that in if they wanted to. Make that a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay, so I have just walked through the entire rubric with you. I'm going to want to add more detail to this, but I won't go over that. You guys can add detail as you need to. Again, it should have, if you want to add more clip art images, you can. Let's see, in the rubric, I believe I said that you had to have one, but let me double check. Oh, excuse me, no, I said 3. So you can put at least 3 no-fill clip art images, but you can add more if you want to. You can add more shapes if you want to as well. If you want to get more detailed, that is totally up to you. But this is the minimum rubric of what I'm looking for. Make sure all of those are completed before you turn this in. All right, I'm going to go ahead and let you get to work. Let me know if you have any questions.